Now I would like to invite Venerable Anil Shakya, who hails from Nepal also, and now he's a resident in the Royal Palace of King of Thailand. So I'd like to invite him to highlight some, background of this great renunciation.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Most Venerable Maitri Bante, the President of Akhil Nepal Bhikkhu Mahasangha, the organizer Bhikkhu Pandey, all my old colleagues from all over the world, and all participants who are participating in the special discussion, a special program organized by the hometown of the Buddha Kapilavastu. I think this is a very good starting for the day such today. Today is a full moon day. Today is a day when Buddha gave, accordingly there's so many things occurred on this very day in the life of the Buddha. One very thing, I guess that it is, as the Venerable Maitri Bante just mentioned, is that, and this occasion, what we are here, is the day when Buddha renunciated his great palace. The day which the Buddha really gave up all the luxury in the palace and then went to search for something which is we are indebted with. The thing which Buddha searched and found and shared becomes something very, very valuable, not only to us, but to this very world. So therefore, it is not only the day when Buddha went and searched and left his luxury in the palace, but it is the same day again today, the Ashada Purnima day, when after his enlightenment, after his awakening at the Buddha Bodhigaya, it's nearly over 2 months later, Buddha went to the Saranath, and then where he preached the first, what we call his first sermon. Although it is not actually the first sermon, but it is the first sermon which, when he delivered, it's become a very active. Is when he delivered, it's become something, changed the world. It's trembled the world, and then make this world totally change from that time. So therefore, it is very important that the Dharma Chakra Divasa are the day when he turned the wheel of the Dharma. Where I would like to say that is another turning the wheel of the Dharma as it is. But if we really look at the word etymology, you will see that it is the great message which I retranslated it from the literary point of view, from the etymological point of view, that it is a day when Buddha first proclaimed as it is a day for sustainable development day. Because the word Dharma Chakra itself, if we translate into the modern language, it is not a turning the wheel of Dharma, but it is the very idea where the sustainable development in practice is all about. Because Pavattana, it means that it is a practice. And the chakra means that it is a development, it is a running, it is something moving forward. It is not only the wheel, doesn't mean that it's the wheel, it is meaning something developed. And the Dharma, actually, it is a sustainability. The dra, the word dra in a Pali, and the tnur in a Latin, basically, it is a sustain. So sometimes we mistranslated the word sustainable development in a very different way. But if you go back to the etymological point of view, it is a day the Buddha first announced the whole message of sustainable development on this very day as Ashada Purnima day. But before that, why Buddha left his luxury in the palace? Everyone for example, we are chasing after all this kind of luxury. We are chasing after all this kind of the what you call is in the richness, the things we are really chasing after: money, name, fame, good house, big car. But Buddha did just opposite. Is that he got everything there in the palace, and then he left all those things behind, and chase for something which is more valuable, which is a spiritual attainment. So this is a very, very striking message for us in this 21st century, when this world is plagued by this COVID-19. I think it is a very, very strong message here that we have to look at, that if we want to chase something, not chasing for this, what Buddha has left, but we have to chase, if we are the disciple of the Buddha, we are the disciple of the Prince Siddhartha. The Prince Siddhartha left the home in order to find something better than home. But at the moment, we are going against the Buddha's own way of doing that. We are going for the name, we are going for the money, we are going for the title and so and so. And totally forget that how Buddha moved, how Buddha left his palace behind. The message of leaving palace behind is very important in a sense that it is not just only leaving the palace. If we go to the life of the Buddha, there is many versions of the life of the Buddha. We say that he left the palace because of he discontent with the life there. Or sometimes he said that he sneak out, he hide out. But some other text that he consulted the things with his father. So that's why he was not hiding out actually. He went with the true and very transparent confrontation with his father, and his father can't give him any satisfied answers. That's why he left his palace. So there's so many story behind all those Buddha's life of Buddha, if you go to the text from the text. But beyond that, I would like to recall, as today is a day when Buddha left the palace. So what do you mean by the palace here? Palace is something that we are always, although we are not a prince these days, but it is a simile that we are what we are attached to. This day we are attached to so many things. Just like in a palace, there are so many nice things to attach with. So similarly, in our life, the whole idea of a palace is that something we really treasure, something we really like it, and we don't want to give it up. And that is what Buddha find that is the source of the dukkha, the source of the suffering. So therefore, the Buddha left the palace as a symbol that he is really putting all his attachment, whether it is so lovely, whether it is something suffering, whether it is something very, very nice, beautiful, his beautiful wife, his cute kids, his beloved family, everything he left behind. Basically, it is saying that he left all of what makes him happy, makes him suffering, makes him sad, makes him glad. So all those factors, in one word, we call attachment. He's leaving that attachment behind, and then go for something which is non-attachment, which is go for something which is what you call is sustainability in a sense. So this is a day. I think this is a very, very good occasion for us to come back and really rethink about what is the meaning of the great renunciation. It is not such a thing as we always think that it's just leaving the house. The leaving the house is these days, we are the diasporas, we are a diasporic society these days. We are leaving our house anyway. We are doing our work here and there. But it is not kind of literally like that. The whole idea of a renunciation is that it is something that you have to develop your mind and leave everything which make your suffering, which make your mind suffer behind. And go for what? Go for the Dharma Chakra. What is Dharma Chakra? So I'll come back to this point. As today is Asala Purnima day, it is a day Buddha first gave sermon to the 5 ascetic. The Dharma Chakra Divasa, or the Dharma Chakra day, actually, as we said, turning the wheel of the Dharma. Chakra, as we translate as a wheel. But in fact, etymologically, it also means that moving forward. Moving forward is the whole idea of a development. So the word dharma in Pali and in Sanskrit is basically a word from the dra. And dra is a root verb, means that upholding, sustaining. So same word as in the European world, they are using the word sustainability or sustainable, but so the word sustain is from the tenor and then sus as a prefix, which means that upholding. So sustainable, it means that it's not making that forever, but it means that whatever the cause and condition around, we can uphold it. So that is the very idea of the Dharma. So therefore, the Dharma Chakra means that it's not for the Buddhist, not for the Hindu, not for the Christian, not for every one of us. Because the message in the Dharma Chakra, Buddha says that we have to give up the two extremes. That is that we have to give up our kind of self-indulgence and that self-mortifications. Not too much, not too little. That is a whole idea of contentment. That is a whole idea of sustainability. So in that whole idea of the Dharma Chakra, if we put it in the Four Noble Truths and the Eighth Noble Path, but in a summary, he's talking about the Sila and Samadhi and Panya. What is Sila, Samadhi, Panya? Sila means that it is about society. Samadhi, it is about our mental quality. And Panya means that about the quality of our intellectuality. So therefore, the whole idea of a sustainable development, as the United Nations announced, actually it is nothing more than what Buddha has taught on this very day. That is a Dharma Chakra, Pavattana, sustainable development in action. So if you want to be sustainable, if you want to live your life sustainably, what you have to do is that first thing, you have to think yourself that who you are, what is your place in the society. It means that you become somebody because you have to deal with someone else. It is a action and reactions and become something you. So I am a monk. So if there is no other lay here, so the monk is not important. But we have two categories here. So monk and lay become something. So we call day because there is a night. We call white, there is a black. We call good, there is a bad. So therefore, this is kind of relevancy. So Buddha basically means that things are making up like that. So if we have to understand that and then able to uphold the whole thing, so we realize ourselves based on the society, based on the action we are doing. At the moment, I am a monk. At the moment, I am a speaker, but I'm become a listener in a few moments. I'm become something in a few moments. So we are changing our life all the time. And in that sense, how we behave, how we identify, how we practice ourselves amidst of other, that is all about the sila. That is all about what we call is moral behavior or the ethics. So that is the first message what Buddha gave on that day. The second message is that once you realize that you have to live with someone else, you have to live with others. So how do you manage your desire? How do you manage your anger? How do you manage your ignorance? That is what you call a samadhi. The management of yourself to be able to live with others in a more fruitful way, in a more productive way, in a more creative way, in a more innovative way. That is a whole idea of the samadhi here. And the panya means that once you know that, the whole thing is that not kind of teaching, not kind of believing, but you have to learn from the Samma Sambuddha. Buddha, knowing yourself in the way that everything leading to the end of that suffering. So therefore, the Dharma Chakra Divasa Day is I have been calling in many of the conferences around the world. I even shared this idea with the His Excellency, the General Secretary of the United Nations, not with the Ban Ki-moon and as well as the modern one, the Guterres, that actually Buddha was the first person in this whole earth who raised the idea of a sustainable development. In the message of the Dharma Chakra, if we translate it correctly, means that the sutra are on sustainable development and action. Pavattana as action, chakra means development, dharma means sustainable. So as our organizer, Pandey, is talking about because Pandey is talking about the sustainability. I think this is how we started. We have to start our sustainability from today, the day Buddha talked about on this Ashada Purnima. So when we think of Dharma Chakra Pavattana Day, it is not only the historical event, but bringing back to the present, bringing out our life. how we live our life in a more sustainability. So if you want to worship, if you want to become a kind of a real practitioner of Buddhism, I would say that go and make yourself, utilize yourself to be somebody who is a model of practicing sustainable development in action. And that is we become a true disciple of Buddha. We become a real Buddhist in that sense. Means that we are awakened. We are the Buddha ourselves, that which Prince Siddhartha left that message to us. And that message is even more important than even at the time of the Buddha in the Kapilavastu.
True.
So this is a message the United Nations is going for. This is a message that the whole world is really searching for. So therefore, let us practice our Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the discourse on the sustainable development action, which Buddha gave on this very day. When Buddha left the palace, and then he went for that very knowledge of sustainable development. Thank you.